welcome back! I'm going to be trying 5 free browser drawing programs today. This is actually part 2, so if you want to see the first part, I'll link it in the description. So, I'm going to be rating them on 5 criteria: tablet compatibility, easy to use interface, brushes, layers, and blending. And then I'm going to pick one that is the highest rating one, and I'm going to draw with it. So let's get started. Okay, the first site that we're going to try is Egio.io. Eggy.io. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's one of those sites where you can collab with your friends or draw with your friends. But if you're like me and have no friends, you can still make a room and draw by yourself. Let's see if it's any good. Okay, we're gonna start with a new canvas. I already noticed that they're asking me for my DPI, which is the resolution. The higher resolution, the more crisp your drawing is. And usually with these programs online, they always have it to 72. But I like that they're letting you choose your DPI. I'm going to put 300. I use 300 for all of my artworks. If I go past like 400, it gets too big and my computer lags. So 300 is the point for me. I'm just gonna name it like YouTube. Okay. So far, it looks promising. Let's check if the pressure is working. It seems like the pressure is working. This reminds me of Clip Paint Studios kind of UI. So far, it's not that bad. It looks like you do have to pay for more brushes though. You get these 4 brushes, these very basic brushes, which is fine with me since even in Photoshop I only use 1 brush anyways, which is the round circle brush. So I'm perfectly fine with it. But it looks like you have to pay if you want different brushes. But we're gonna only use the free version today. There seems to be a decent amount of options you can do for your brush sizes, but as far as blending, I can't find it. I don't think there's blending on this. There's like a pencil tool, there's a paint brush, like a paint tool that I've been using, but I cannot find the blend tool. So I'm gonna say there's no blend tool. And so unless your style is like very cell shaded, you might have a little bit issues with this. I'm gonna do a little sketch here. I feel like it's not the best to do a full drawing on, but sketching is okay on it. The pressure is mediocre at best, and it didn't really feel like it really did anything. Also the fact that it's pretty limited in its features, so I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Okay for sketching or messing around with friends, but for like making a complete full drawing, I don't know, not so much. The next art program we're gonna try is Sumo Paint. Already I can see that there's a lot of brush options. There's a drop down menu that it's not showing up here, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 categories. Most of them are pretty weird, like this alphabet and numbers brush. Oops. Yeah. I don't know the function or use of it, but it's there if you wanted to. It's pretty novel. So I'm probably gonna be using the default the most. The pen and in default because it feels the most like my Photoshop brush actually. And there is pressure on the brushes, so it do feel like you're actually drawing with pressure. And the best part is that you can actually blend with this program. Let's blend some pink with some more pink. It's not the best blend, but it is better than nothing. The one of the blend is a blur, where it just kind of blurs it together, but it's kind of blending. It'll work. And then one is smudge. It's more like a pulling blend. You can change the options of how strong you want the pull in the tool option right here. So if it's too much, you can always turn it down or turn it up. But I recommend not like messing around with these options a lot, because I did, and it kind of lagged out my whole program. So just a warning to not mess with it too much. But it does have a blend, which is very nice. As I'm sketching, I realized that there's an AI art button at the top right corner. I just wanted to say that I do not support any AI art. I believe it ruins the integrity of being an artist and having the skill and time you have to put into being one. But anyways, overall, it actually feels like an art program. A weak one, of course, but nevertheless a working one. So I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. Smooth to work with. It lags a bit, but it's usable. Next art program we're gonna use is called Flockmod. It's pretty much like Aggie.io, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You draw with your friend, but of course you can use it alone. I'm gonna put a password because I'm gonna use it alone. So I'm looking here, and it's very similar to the first drawing program that we did, which is the Aggie.io. It's very simple. It only has one brush, a very, simple round brush, which is fine with me, but maybe some people would like more brushes, but for me it's okay. The lines are very jagged. I don't know if it's me or the program, but it's very jagged. I'll show you what the bigger one. It's not like one straight line. It has little marks and indents in between it. So I don't like that. And for the pressure, I don't know if there's any pressure in it. It says there is, but I don't see or feel it. It's very, very little pressure, if there's any. One thing that I do see is that there's a blend. It's not the best. It's more of a very spotty, very weird blend, but I think if you turn the blur up a little bit, it's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better if you turn the blur up. It's not the best, but you can definitely work around it. There's layers, there's a color wheel. It's pretty simple. I feel like this again is another thing for sketching or messing around with your friends, but I don't think you can really like make a full finish clean render of anything. But sketching, it could definitely work. For this drawing program, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's smooth, it runs well, but to make a fully rendered piece, I don't think you can't do it unless your style is just very sketchy style. But for simple things like what I'm drawing right now, it could work. It won't produce a smooth, fully rendered work, but for small doodles, it'll do. Definitely a lot smoother than Aggie.io. So the next drawing programs I'm gonna show you are from UiDraw. They're this drawing one and this painter one. The UI is very outdated. And this is more of a vector art. Vector art is like if you zoom in your art, it keeps going basically, and there's no pixels to it. It's different, but I tried using my tablet on this and it does not work. So everything you do, you gotta do with mouse. So if you're into drawing with mouse and having really clear art, maybe you should try this, but it's not for me. It's kind of like Adobe Illustrator, but like a really scuffed version that you can't use your tablet on. So this is what it is. I don't recommend it. It's very limited what it can do, and since you can't use your tablet, it's gonna be very tedious, but it is vector art. The second part of this site is their painter, which is basically why would you use this if there's MS Paint on your computer? Because it's worse than MS Paint. You can't use your tablet for one. It's not good. Like, you can't use your tablet at all. The type of pencil it has is very random. It's not good. It's just random stuff that you can't really draw with. I don't understand the purpose of this drawing site, because you can't use your tablet. It's pretty limited, very limited. I would rather just use MS Paint to draw if I have nothing else to draw. It's just the most bare bone basic. I think below basic, because there's actually nothing. So I do not recommend this. I'm gonna give both of these sites a 1 out of 5. Just use MS Paint instead, basically. The last program that I'm gonna try out is Pixel Art. It basically is a pixel art drawing program. It looks promising. I like that there's a color palette picker, because if you're a new pixel artist, having a color palette really helps you with your pixel art. It makes it more uniformed. I forgot which palette I use when I do pixel art. So we're just gonna pick a random art. Let's do trending. Let's just use this one, which is nice. And then I like that also there's a canvas preset. Another thing that I had problems with when I started pixel art, I didn't know what size I had to do the art in. So this is pretty good. Put a range of like what size you wanted, or the average size that people use. But I usually use like 32 size. It looks good so far. You can't really mess up a pixel painter since it is just pixels, right? My tablet does work with it, which is nice. But I think for pixel art, it doesn't really matter if it's like with your tablet or not, because when I do my pixel art, I just do it with my mouse. I just do it with mouse, so it doesn't really bother me if they had no tablet function or feature. But it's nice that they do. It's nice that they do. I do like that. Overall, it's a pretty good pixel art program. For it being free and online, it runs very smoothly. It has a lot of more features than I thought it would have. It has pixel perfect. It has like tools to make shapes and stuff, so you're all set pretty much. It's pretty hard to mess up a pixel program, because you don't really need brushes. You don't really need like any of the fancy stuff. You just need one pixel. So I'll say this is pretty good. If I wasn't already using my my Aseprite, I would probably use this. It's pretty nice. I do like it. I'm going to rate this a 5 out of 5. It works well. It doesn't lag. It does its job. It has very nice features, but I'm not going to include it in the programs that I'm going to put on my list, because it's not a drawing or a regular drawing program. It's a pixel. So I'm going to pick out of the other 4 that I tried. Welcome to the time-lapse portion of the video. If you haven't guessed already, I picked Sumo Paint. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this was torture. Even though it was the best program that I picked, every moment drawing in the program was so bad. Will I ever use this over Photoshop or Procreate? No. This simple drawing took so much longer than it should be. I feel like half the time I was wondering why my brush wasn't working. Overall, it was a bad and uncomfortable experience. But thank you for watching to the end. Leave a like if you would like me to make more videos like this. And maybe subscribe.